These here are the OBSBOT Tail 2 cameras, AI-powered PTZR streaming cameras, and honestly, I'm a little afraid these might be coming for my job and maybe yours. But will they actually succeed? Here in my home studio, apart from recording videos for YouTube, my wife records her podcast, the 91 podcast, which focuses on spirituality and faith. That podcast uses 3 cameras, one on the host, one on the guest, and a third on the motorized slider as the wide shot. The problem we've always had is monitoring, because we record at home and I need to be in a different part of the house watching the toddlers. Keeping an eye on all these 3 cameras and making adjustment has always been a hassle. The OBSBOT Tail 2 solved that problem right away, but it also created a new one, which I'll talk about later on in this video. I also use it at my local church where it works smooth as butter. OBSBOT sent me this unit to test and make a video about. They have no say in this review and gave me full creative freedom to share my honest thoughts with you guys. With that said, let's roll intro. The OBSBOT Tail 2 isn't just a camera. It's an AI-powered PTZR 4K live production camera, P for pan, T for tilt, Z for zoom, and R for rotate. It's designed to be the core of a professional yet simple to use multi-camera setup. It takes automated tracking to the next level with proper connectivity and great optics in a compact, all-in-one device, all thanks to a 6-axis gimbal head. Whether you're a solo creator, a streamer, or part of a live production team, the Tail 2 can give you high-quality dynamic video without needing a full crew. Thanks to the AI Tracking 2.0, the heart of this camera, you get improved tracking even in low-lit spaces. You can activate tracking with a simple double tapping in the mobile app or hand gestures. More on that later on in this video. There's an only me mode that keeps focus on your chosen subject and ignores everyone else walking into the frame. There's also group tracking, which is useful for group presentations or team setup. Now remember, this is a PTZR camera. That R is for rotate, is not common in most PTZ cameras. The Tail 2 can rotate its lens 90 degrees hands-free, so you can switch between landscape 16:9 and portrait 9:16 without physically turning the whole camera. It shoots up to 4K 60 and full HD 120 frames per second using its 1/1.5 inch CMOS sensor. It has a 5x optical zoom and 12x hybrid zoom, which honestly reminds me of the camcorder era. There's gesture control, a built-in battery, multiple power options, NDI support, and several pro-level connectivity ports. And if I remember correctly, the battery in this is up to 5,000 milliamps, which gives you up to about 5 hours. Currently, I'm recording on this camera here, not this one, the one that's tracking me. And I think I just started recording at about 23% battery level. So let's see if it lasts the whole shoot. The built-in battery surprised me. It gives you up to 5 hours of non-stop shooting. I'm literally filming this right now without any external battery connected to the OBSBOT Tail 2. But in pro setup, I'll always advise you to connect a battery, well, an external power source to the device so it doesn't run out of battery juice. One often overlooked feature is the integrated tally light. Now I'm recording and I see a blue light blinking up and, well, it's just blinking. This one's not recording, it's on, and there's a green solid light. I think it's saying that it's steady, it's ready, on standby mode. And I have a USB-C cable because I ran out of battery on this one. Plugged in, I can see it's charging right there. It shows status indicators that can be helpful, like when the SD card is full, when tracking is lost, and more. So what problem did the Tail 2 solve? Like I mentioned earlier, we also record a podcast here in the studio. It's a 3-camera setup, and that 3-camera setup can be overwhelming because I have to monitor them from another room while looking after the kids. I'll leave a link to the podcast in the description below. I'll put it up here. Sometimes I would have to tiptoe to make tiny adjustments when somebody moved out of frame. You know, if you physically have to move the camera. It's easy with the Tail 2. This solved that problem without any stress. I just monitored everything wirelessly from my phone. I made my needed adjustment, but I ran into a few issues. It's a big but, and this is where the but in my title comes in. They are not negatives, just the lessons I've learned. First, make sure your memory card has enough space for the length of your recording. Our podcast ran for almost 2 hours and I ran out of space on one camera. I also didn't realize the SD card I used wasn't high quality on the one that was focused on my wife, the host, and it ended up getting corrupted. That one was on me. Another thing I noticed is that the Tail 2 actually warns you if your card isn't fast enough for the resolution you've selected. But I didn't pay attention to this in the first instance, so that too was on me. So the fact that it tells you that the card you have slot into it is not fast enough is a major plus. The second but has to do with low light recording. Now, the Tail 2 has a 1/1.5-inch sensor, and while tracking in low light is excellent, the image quality doesn't match my full frame camera. I will talk more on this in the colors and white balance section. Our podcast lighting setup is mostly dimly lit. That's how we like it. There's just one top-down key light and 2 tube lights, which is out of frame, which is set at about 5% brightness, so it's very, very dimly lit. So I took it to church. I mounted it at the back facing, well, opposite the pulpit, right in the center, plugged a wireless lav mic from the church mixer into the camera, selected the speaker to track, and let it do its thing. For the 30+ minutes sermon, the Tail 2 kept the pastor centered and tracked him perfectly as he moved, side by side on the stage. I could even monitor the audio wirelessly through the app. I made adjustments like noise reduction at different levels on the fly without any hassle. Now, to price and build quality. The Tail 2 costs about $1,300 US if you're in the US or £1,300 here in the UK. It comes in a nice red padded box with a USB-C to A adapter, a USB-C to C power delivery cable, another USB-C data cable, some documentation, and obviously the camera itself. There are other optional accessories like the OBSBOT 360-degree battery extension, a smart remote control, ND filters that you can attach to the lens if you're recording outdoors in very bright sunlight, and more. The build of the Tail 2 is top. It has a premium matte finish to it, built from a durable aluminum alloy, giving it a reassuring weight and rigid feel. It doesn't feel like a cheap plastic consumer gadget. It weighs just about 1 kilogram at about 1,066 kilograms, which is light enough to be portable but heavy enough to feel substantial and stable on a stand. If you're a solo creator, this is exactly what you're looking for. A camera that tracks your every move, whether you're a cook, presenter, fitness instructor, or someone who records live. This gives you freedom to move without needing anyone behind the camera. The gesture controls mean you don't even need an operator. The indicator lights and audio beeps help you to know when something is wrong so you can quickly fix it and keep recording. I'll just quickly show you. It's on already. It's charging. Have it powered to a battery here. I'll put this just in front so that you guys can see. And with my palm, I'll activate the tracking. It's picked me up, it blinked, it's now changed to blue. You might not see because it's tracking me. No, you're not going to see it. So if I sit up or go down, it's tracking me as well as the other camera. So 2 cameras or 2 OBSBOT Tail 2s are tracking me. That one is recording. This one is not recording. What if I put my hand across the frame and open up? It's still tracking me. So 2 cameras are tracking me. I could set that one to the frame and have it as medium close-up. And I can set this one to wide, and I have no issues with tracking me. Also, overheating is something I'm always concerned, especially with cameras like this. The Tail 2 has vents and a built-in fan, but honestly, I've never heard it in any of my recordings. When I record long takes and short, I couldn't hear the fan even once. Right now, I'm recording on that one. I don't hear it. This one is also on doing all its calculations, tracking me, and I'm not hearing anything. I possibly would have to lean in. I'm not hearing anything. So I have the overhead light, which is on, and I can hear its fan. I'll be quiet so I can hear its fan. But I can't hear anything coming out from the OBSBOT Tail 2. Nothing is beating that. No overheating issues either. So you don't have to worry about fan noise getting into your audio. Now let's talk about remote controlling this app via a mobile app or PTZ controller. Controlling the Tail 2 remotely is straightforward. I own an A10 mini mixer, and via HDMI you're able to see the feed coming out from this device without any issues. I've had no issues via my A10 mini. If you have a PTZ controller board, you shouldn't have a problem controlling the camera, but I don't own one, so I couldn't tell you any experiences with it. But I mostly preferred controlling and previewing the Tail 2 from my mobile phone. Currently, I have my iPad here, which is recording. I can see myself moving, so it works seamlessly across devices. I've tested it on my computer, which is behind me, and the app is just the same way you control it on a mobile device like an iPad or an iPhone. My use cases at church and at home were to connect wirelessly to the Tail 2 through Wi-Fi. It's simple to set up. Just enter the Wi-Fi password in the app and you're ready to go. You can stream, adjust camera settings, zoom in and out, toggle gesture controls, adjust volume levels, noise reduction, change resolution, format the SD card, adjust color settings, start and stop recording, and much more. It's endless. There are about 3 different OBSBOT apps which I've installed, and there's one for live mixing. If you don't own a physical mixer, you can even power the Tail 2 on and off right from the app if you wanted to do that. Now there's one lesson I learned and I want to share with you so you don't make the same mistake that I did, is please turn off gesture control. On my first podcast recording with the Tail 2, everything was fine until suddenly my wife's camera zoomed all the way out after I framed it nicely, and also recording stopped. It was crazy. It caught me off guard. I had to jump into the app, reframe and disable gestures. So that's something to keep in mind. I also deactivated the tilt up and down just to keep the framing consistent. And I'll just show you, imagine you're talking and you just went like this. Hey, it's gonna stop. Oh, it's still moving. But if I went, you see, it stopped. That camera didn't pick it up, but this one has picked it up, and I see that's still moving. This isn't moving. So and it's now, so turn that off so you don't make the same errors I made. Now for the sensor colors and white balance, this is where things get interesting. The colors straight out of the Tail 2 are okay, besides the usual presets like cloud or warm. You can dial in custom white balance to meet your taste. There are more settings like auto exposure, outdoor mode, anti-flicker at 50 or 60 Hz, HDR, and much more. Remember, this is a 1/1.5 inch sensor, so colors and the sensitivity to light will not be the same as a full frame camera, but it's super sensitive, even in dark low light. I tried it yesterday for about an hour. No light here in the studio was on. The only light I had on was the light coming from my monitor and my desk lamp, and it kept me tracked. At church, it looked perfect. The lighting and space were ideal for this camera. So note, this camera loves a lot of light in terms of the image you get out of the camera and space to show its true potential and power. It uses a 4.6 to 23 millimeter focal length, which is equivalent to approximately 19.78 millimeters to 98.9 millimeters full frame focal length at a crop factor of 4.3x, and has an aperture of 1.8, f1.8 to f3, compared to my main aero camera here, which is an 8.1K sensor. It's not a fair comparison. You can definitely see the difference, so be careful when mixing with other cameras, and lighting should be sufficient enough except you're pursuing a kind of particular look. Now for input-output connection, the Tail 2 has a lot. At the back you have the mic and line input, HDMI 2.0, RS232, 3G, SDI, LAN port, a micro SD card slot, a high-speed USB-C port for data, and another USB-C port for charging or powering this device. Underneath is a 10-pin connection for the dock accessory and a Q20 port to easily rig it anywhere. Now there are a few things on my wish list for a future Tail 2. First, a built-in mic for scratch audio to help with syncing. Yes, there's a line in and mic port, but sometimes scratch audio is handy just in case you forget to connect a mic into the device. But the good thing is that the app warns you if there's no audio input before you hit record. But like I missed the SD card issue, that can happen. Secondly would be a bigger sensor, maybe a micro four thirds or APS-C size sensor. That would be a huge jump. A full frame would be amazing, but that would push the price into the $2,000 to $2,500 range easily. Third, log recording, Vlog, S-Log, C-Log, or even T-Log. Having log options would really help with color grading and matching in post. Now, would I keep this device and should you invest in it? Absolutely, 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 yes, yes, yes. I'll tell you why. I'm already working on a production that needs more cameras and this fits perfectly into the kit. Already have about 3 to 4 cameras I'll use on that, and having extra 2 would be solid. My church is already benefiting from using this camera and I'm thinking of adding the second one because we don't have so many volunteers. So having an unmanned camera that does everything is a blessing. If you have a setup that needs more cameras but don't have the budget for extra operators, this fits right into the workflow. I'll definitely keep using it alongside my other cameras regardless of the significant difference in look. Sometimes it's not about the look, it's about getting the job done. There are features I didn't even cover in depth. There's so much this camera can do. It's a lot. The Tail 2 feels like the future of live video production, and honestly, I'm scared of how good this thing is. Imagine a Tail camera with a full frame BSI, maybe stack sensor, and built-in variable ND filters. This might be the end of manned cameras. We already have cameras tracking athletes on football fields where our videographers cooked. Let me know in the comment section below because I think we might be. If you have any questions, drop them below. I've left links to check out the camera. If you want to buy, use the link below, please. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this. I'm your filmmaker and I'll see you guys in the next one. God bless and peace.